Just imagine this. The universe stretching infinitely outward, stars glittering like ancient eyes in the darkness, galaxies spinning silently in the immeasurable vastness of space, and then shrinking our gaze back into something closer yet still unimaginably distant, our own solar system, the protective bubble of planets orbiting around the sun, a cosmic neighborhood we think we know so well, yet at its very edge. Beyond the icy plains of Pluto, a mystery has appeared that is forcing scientists, astronomers, and even philosophers to question everything we thought we understood about space. Because NASA's long-range monitoring systems, those deep space antennas spread across Earth, tuned to catch the faintest whisper from the farthest edges of our planetary family, suddenly picked up something they were not supposed to: strange, pulsing light signals, sharp beams that did not resemble starlight, comet reflection, or any known astrophysical phenomenon, and the signals weren't just random bursts of light. They carried a rhythm, a frequency, a deliberate pattern, almost like someone tapping out a code in the darkness of eternity. And what was even more unsettling was the location. These signals were not coming from a distant galaxy millions of light years away, not from a pulsar spinning and sending out natural radio beacons, not from the flare of a collapsing star, but from just beyond Pluto. A place we considered barren, frozen, empty, where even sunlight struggles to reach, a region belonging to the Kuiper Belt, filled with icy rocks and ancient debris of creation, a place no life was ever expected to exist, and yet there it was, light, intelligent light, as though someone, or something, was trying to speak, waiting in the cold, uncharted blackness just past the boundary of our world, and the realization hit the control room at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory like a thunderclap. If these signals were real, if they were not a technical error or interference from a satellite or a glitch in the instruments, then humanity was not alone, because light with a rhythm is communication, and communication means intention, and intention means intelligence, and suddenly the universe did not feel empty anymore. It felt crowded, as if unseen eyes had been watching us all along, as if the silence of space had only been a curtain hiding someone else's presence, someone who chose now, in this age of telescopes and probes, to finally reach out. But the strangeness didn't end there, because as the scientists plotted the source coordinates of the light, they realized something deeply unsettling. The signals were coming from a fixed point, not drifting like a comet, not moving like an asteroid, but anchored, locked, almost as though a structure was sitting there, invisible yet broadcasting, or perhaps reflecting, a signal. And this raised terrifying questions. What if it wasn't natural? What if it was built? And if it was built, then who built it, and why place it there, just beyond Pluto, as if guarding the boundary of our solar system, as if waiting for us to notice only when we had the technology to look? And some began whispering about ancient probes, about extraterrestrial civilizations seeding markers around young star systems, about cosmic beacons left behind long before humans walked the Earth, while others argued it could be something else entirely. A natural phenomenon misunderstood. But then came the detail no one could dismiss: the pattern of the lights matched mathematical sequences, prime numbers flashing in perfect intervals. And prime numbers are not an accident. Prime numbers are not natural. They are a language, universal, a message designed to say, "We exist, we are here, and we know you will understand this." And when the realization sank in that these lights might be deliberately sending math, a shiver ran down the spine of the entire scientific community. Because it meant the sender knew enough about the universe to expect another mind to recognize the code, and that means not only intelligence but awareness of others, awareness of us. And suddenly all the old stories, myths, and possibilities that had been dismissed as fantasy came roaring back into relevance. Because what if the strange lights were a call, a summons, or worse, a warning, perhaps even a trap, a signal meant not for friendship but for observation? An announcement to others far greater than us that humanity had finally reached the stage where we could see beyond our cage. And as teams raced to check and double-check the data, to rule out errors, to confirm beyond doubt, they began to see more layers in the flicker, more than just numbers, perhaps even shapes embedded in the rhythm, geometric sequences resembling constellations not of our sky but of some other place. And the haunting thought grew louder: were we being sent directions, coordinates, and invitation? Or were we being marked, catalogued, our solar system tagged as occupied, ready for whoever was listening in the deeper dark? And what makes this discovery even more chilling is that Voyager 1 and 2, our farthest spacecraft, once sent beyond the edge of the solar system, may not just be drifting alone anymore, because these lights were pulsing not far from their trajectory, as though someone had seen our little golden records, our attempt to speak into the void, and had finally decided to answer. And so the question remains, echoing like the silent heartbeat of the cosmos itself: what lies beyond Pluto, hidden in that shadowy distance, flashing its strange lights toward Earth? And is it reaching out with friendship, or is it a reminder that in the vast, cold theater of space, we are not the only actors, and perhaps never were? The signal kept echoing in the deep silence of space, repeating in strange intervals that no one on Earth could fully decode. And as the world held its breath waiting for NASA's next announcement, the team inside the Jet Propulsion Laboratory realized they were not just receiving light. They were receiving a message. But the question that froze every scientist in their chair was, message from whom? Because when the wavelengths were broken down into visible spectrums, what appeared on the screens was not random static but shapes. Shapes that resembled patterns seen in ancient carvings from Earth's oldest civilizations, spirals, straight lines, and interconnected triangles that almost looked like blueprints of something far greater than human imagination. And as they magnified those glowing signals frame by frame, the realization hit them harder. This was not a natural cosmic phenomenon. This was a deliberate transmission sent across billions of kilometers of frozen dark. But why beyond Pluto? Why from the edge of the solar system? And why now, in this precise moment of human history, were these mysterious light signals breaking through? And as whispers spread across secret government rooms, some officials feared it was a warning, while others believed it was an invitation. But no one dared to speak aloud the chilling possibility that maybe something, or someone, had been waiting just beyond the known planets, watching silently until humanity had reached a certain level of awareness. And now the time had come for them to announce themselves, and inside the sealed NASA chamber, the lead astronomer adjusted his microphone and said words that changed everything. The lights are not only repeating, they are responding. Because when a coded pulse was beamed back toward the coordinates beyond Pluto, an answer arrived, not hours later as light usually travels, but instantly, as if the sender was not bound by distance or time. And this impossible instant response meant one of two terrifying things. Either the source was closer than anyone realized, hidden right at the edges of the solar system, cloaked in some unknown technology, or it was operating from a dimension outside the laws of physics humans understood. And that single thought sent shivers across every mind inside the control room. Because if a force beyond the grasp of Einstein's relativity had chosen now to speak, what chance did humans have to understand, let alone protect themselves? And yet curiosity burned brighter than fear, so the team decided to keep sending messages, each more complex than the last: mathematical sequences, prime numbers, golden ratios. And at every attempt the lights pulsed back, faster, sharper, aligning with the rhythm of Earth's questions, until one night, when the room was lit only by the blue glow of screens, the signals changed, and instead of patterns, they showed what looked like images, blurred at first, then sharpening, until the stunned silence in the room became unbearable, because the shapes forming in the signals looked like maps not of Pluto, not of Neptune, but of Earth itself. Ancient maps showing continents as they were millions of years ago before tectonic plates had shifted. And on those glowing maps were markers, bright points of light indicating hidden places on the planet, deserts, oceans, mountains, and one location pulsing brighter than all the rest, deep in the heart of Antarctica, buried beneath kilometers of ice. And as the scientists stared in disbelief, the realization settled like a cold shadow over them. Whatever intelligence was sending these signals was pointing them back home, to secrets buried on their own planet long before humans walked the Earth. And suddenly the mystery of Pluto's edge was not about distance, it was about revelation. But the question lingered like a haunting echo: what waited beneath the frozen continent? And why did something beyond Pluto want humans to uncover it now? And as the world outside remained unaware, a decision was made in secrecy. A joint mission of scientists and military operatives would be dispatched to Antarctica, while telescopes kept their focus locked beyond Pluto, waiting for the next pulse of light. But just as preparations began, something unexpected happened. The signal stopped. The space beyond Pluto turned silent again, as if the sender had vanished, leaving humanity with only a map, a puzzle, and a choice, and in the silence that followed, paranoia grew, because